Hi guys, and welcome to the, I should have looked this up, 73rd episode of the Yarn Junkie podcast. My name is Amber. I'm coming to you from my home in Texas, where I live with my husband, our 3 daughters, and 3 dogs. I do have my little co-host just out of view of the camera. I'm sure she'll come over here and be a part of the show at some point. She's happily playing with her basket of random objects. I'm sure if you are familiar with babies in general, you can spend, countless money on toys, and what they would rather play with is like random objects, empty little bottles and just random things that they find is what they prefer to play with over actual toys. So I will just jump right in. I have lots of things to show you guys today. And I just paused because there's something in the car. It's my car project for when I'm doing pickup and drop off, or pickup, not drop off. But I don't really want to upset the system that I have going here. It's kind of precarious with her being happy for 30 minutes, so I can sit down and quickly get through all that I have to show you guys. So we'll just show that next time. But I do have quite a few finished objects. I am wearing knitwear. This is my Blue Sands cardigan that I knit last year while I was pregnant with Ruby. And it is, to date, my most worn knit item. I kind of use it as a coat of sorts because it is so warm. It's a Knit and DK Madeline-Tosh yarn. And I really, really love this sweater. It is one of their ombre kits, but I kind of, just mixed up the colors. And it's got pocketses, which I love. And I did a little bit of striping in the pocket just to make it fun. And yeah, so I couldn't say enough good things about this cardigan. If you are thinking about making this pattern, it is the coziest thing that you could wear. It's got like a saddled shoulder, which was my first time knitting that, and I really love this sweater. And I'm also wearing a hat that I knit. I will probably take this off at some point because it is kind of warm in here. It's really rainy. It's been so rainy for months. It feels like I live in the Pacific Northwest instead of in Texas. Today it's around 50 degrees and it's super gloomy and rainy outside. And it's been like that for a few days. It rained on Halloween. We didn't go trick-or-treating. We actually ended up getting, we ordered pizza, and we went to the store and just got like a couple of bags of different kinds of candies. And I opened them all up and put them in a bowl, and I was like, trick-or-treat, kids. And that was actually one of the best Halloweens that we've had. We watched a scary movie, which was Pay the Ghost. So it's scary, but it's not so scary that my kids like scary movies. My oldest doesn't. She's 12, almost 13. And she was really like frightened throughout a lot of the movie, but I wouldn't say that it's so scary I wouldn't recommend it for kids. I think it's a great scary movie for kids because it's like scary, but it's not terrifying where they're going to have nightmares. My 8-year-old, or 7, she'll be 8 next week. Oh my God, where's time gone? She loved it, but she really likes, thrillers and roller coasters, and she just has that scare me personality anyway. And my oldest definitely doesn't. But, did I say something about my hat? It's the Vermont Foliage hat, which was out of a book that I got at the library, in knitted beanies and slouchy hats. I'm sure you could look it up on Amazon. I really love this hat. I actually knit this pattern twice that I loved it so much, and I could definitely see myself making another version of this. And it's also knit in DK weight, Madeline-Tosh yarn in colorway Daffodil. But so it's been rainy. That was my point. Everyone always talks about the weather, and I always think it's kind of filler, but honestly, that's a big part of like what's going on and why we're wearing the things we're wearing. And yeah, I think weather's important, and I always like to hear about the climate in other podcasts that I watch. So Ruby kind of got gypped out of her first Halloween experience, but it is what it is. So I have quite a few FOs to get through to show you guys. The first one is, I might wait on this one. I'm going to wait on that one to see if maybe she wants to model it. So I'll start with these. I knit these socks. I started these in April. My sock knitting mojo for the year is completely non-existent. I keep starting socks and then I'm like, I'm so bored of socks, which is ridiculous because that's why I originally wanted to teach myself to knit, is to knit socks. But I haven't wanted to knit socks in a long time. This one's mine. Where's yours? Here, you have this one. It doesn't have a sock on it, I know. She wants the sock blocker. But so this is a pair of socks that I started for my husband. This is the Cascade Heritage color. I think they have numbers for colors, but it's really cool. It's got greens and oranges and grays. I did a coordinating heel. I knit a tube and then just did an afterthought heel because I like to do that with self-striping for sure. And that's Coal Miner's Daughter by Lolo did it. I really love her tonal gray line. It's one of my favorites. But so these are for my husband. I knit them quite a bit longer, and he loves hand knit socks. He wears hand knit socks a lot, but those are those two pair. And then another pair of socks that I finished, I started these in February, and I know it was February because this is a Valentine's colorway. This is My Bloody Valentine. I believe that's the colorway name, by Two Sisters Yarn Co. This yarn was a gift, so I'm kind of sketchy on that. And this one likes ball bands. So if I'm knitting and she'll just like take the ball band and chew on it, and then I have to take it away from her, and then it's gross, so I throw it out. So I'm not, and I'm sorry guys, this is going to be my life for forever. Sorry, not sorry, because she's hilarious to me. Again, it's a self-striping yarn, so I did a tube and then knit an afterthought heel. And I actually did these toe up, and I don't normally knit toe up, but sometimes I like to switch it up. And I thought if I knit toe up, maybe I'll be interested in knitting. It wasn't any better. But the coordinating cuff and toe is another Lolo Did It gray tonal, and that's Folsom. I just thought it paired well with that. And then the afterthought heel. So those are the socks I've been working on. I also knit Ruby a pair of socks, and I apologize, it looks a little washed out, but there's a huge window right behind you guys, and this is the best place for me to do that because we're sitting on the floor and she's got stuff to entertain her. So sorry, not sorry for the lighting. This yarn was a gift from my friend Melissa of Knitty by Nature, and this was yarn that she had someone dye for her shop. I think that's how it went. I think it was Dog Star Knits. Don't quote me on that. And like the pinky swear colorway maybe. I'm not sure, guys. I've knit these like over 2 months ago. And they don't even really fit Ruby that well. I don't know if I need to knit the foot longer or knit them tighter. But they're just like, this part will slide, the heel will slide down, and then it will be in the middle of her foot, and it just sort of slides off. So I had planned to knit her a bunch of socks, and then that just it's not going to work out. I'm throwing things up there when I should be throwing them in the basket. So another FO that I have is this sweater. I believe I showed you guys this on the last episode. I knit this sweater for Ruby, and the pattern that I followed was Snow is Falling Juniors by Melissa something. I don't know. Her version is just a solid color sweater with color work on the bottom, and I wanted to do like a rugby style sweater for Ruby for Christmas because I had this yarn in the stash, and it's both of these are Malabrigo Rios, so a worsted weight yarn. And the green is Ivy, and the cream is a natural. That's what it's called. And so I did knit this a bit longer than the pattern required, and I knit the sleeves a bit longer with extending the cuff by I think, an inch or so I could cuff them, and hopefully she could get 2 years wear out of this, 2 seasons, this year and next year. And let me tell you, because of how many rows I did of the different colors, I just snipped my yarn every time, and it took me forever to weave in all of the ends. It was daunting. I don't think that I'll knit a sweater like this again. As much as I love it, weaving in those ends it was no picnic. But here's the yarn that I have left, and I think I have enough to do one of those like little gnomes, like a Christmas decoration. This is like completely blown out. It's a natural color, and this is green. And this yarn was left over from the first pullover that I ever knit myself. So that was exciting to use up that extra skein of yarn that I had. The last finished object that I have, actually I have one more after this, is this cute little hat that Ruby's going to protest me shoving on her head, but I'm going to do it anyway so you can see. So you can see how cute she is. This is the little gnome hat. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It asked for a worsted, but I didn't have a worsted in the color that I wanted to knit. And so this is Madeline Tosh Blood Runs Cold. It was a fingering weight that I held double. And so it knit a little bit more like DK than worsted, but it worked for what I wanted to do. And did I say it was a free pattern? I think I did. Here, look. Here's your book. Let's put your hat on. She loves to read. We go to the library every week, and her sisters are big readers, so we read a lot. Okay. Wait, don't pull it. Okay, so I was wanting to knit her a hat, but I knew she would just rip it off. And so I looked for something with like ties, but this has like the little collar around it. And no. She can still rip it off. She does not want it on her head. You guys saw how adorable she is. Her dad thinks this is the most adorable thing that I've ever knit, and he always asks me to put it on her, and she is not a fan. So that's a really sad thing because I love it, and I wish she liked to wear it. So as far as, and here's the last finished object. I actually knit 2 of these, but I didn't finish the thumb on the other because they weren't going to fit Ruby. They're just too small. I knit these using some hand spun yarn I got in a swap from my friend Robin, and I can't even, this hand spun is so much better than anything that I could ever hand spin, but I knit Ruby a pair of mittens thinking they would fit her, and they're just way too small. She's kind of a big baby, so they just don't fit very well at all. But I'd really like to knit the older girls some mittens. But I haven't been into gift knitting this year. I started Prudence a hat and a pair of socks for her birthday next week, but I don't even think I'm going to finish those. I can't be bothered. I'm really into sweaters, and that's what I've been working on, and I'll show you guys those. Here, here's your basket. Oh, you fell over. Bear with me while I get her resituated. Look. What's this? Oh, you got that money. Okay. So that'll buy me at least a few more minutes. So I've been working on my husband's cardigan that I have in my beautiful tree print bag by the Fawn Knits. She makes these ever so often, so keep an eye on her Instagram for sure, because she usually announces it there. But this is the Slade cardigan by Brooklyn Tweed. I don't think it's by Brooklyn Tweed. Jared Flood, maybe. It's just an open cardigan for a man. And I'm knitting it in this Miss Babs Wowza in the coffee something. I don't know where my ball bands are, guys. I don't know what happens to them. Coffee break. That's what it was. I knew it was something about coffee. In the coffee break colorway. So this is the back, and I was knitting this as my like bedtime knitting because it's just knit back and forth, or knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, because you're knitting flat. And then as soon as I got to the point where I am doing the decreases for the sleeves, armholes, I kind of put it to the side. And I really need to pick it back up because it's only a few rows that you do the decreases for the armholes, and then you're back to knitting flat. But this is going to look amazing on my husband with his red beard, those little pops of copper, and he wears a lot of gray and black, not black, gray and brown and khaki. I'm sorry, guys. She's being really distracting, and so now I'm discombobulated. But I've really enjoyed working on this so far. I am alternating my yarn because it's hand-dyed, and I didn't want any color pooling or flashes. My yarn just rolled way over there. And so that's that project. I need to get back to this, but I've just been knitting on what I love to knit on, and that just sort of took a back seat. So I'm going to toss it over there. Hopefully she won't go after it. So after I got to the point of separating for the sleeves on that, or not separating for the sleeves, decreasing for the sleeves, I went back to this and picked this up, and I got through the color work. I believe I was up here the last time I showed you guys this. So I've totally finished the color work, separated for the sleeves, and started on the body. And I am loving this knit. I was really concerned about my color work. I thought that it would be too tight or pucker. So I like sprayed it out just with a water bottle. I sprayed it and kind of blocked it out. And it is so perfect. I am so amazed that I knit this. I can't even believe it. I'll show you guys. It's blown out, but there's my floats. Yeah, it's just, I can't believe I knit this. The yarns are, the blue and yellow are Hue Loco. The pink is the Woolberry Fiber Co. And then this brownish gold is Suburban Stitcher. So this has been my nighttime knitting now because I just knit round and round and round. I am alternating skeins on the body, and so all I do is like when I come to my stitch marker, I switch my skein, and that is, I'm doing it every round, so there's virtually no jog or no carry up because I just switch it. This has been really enjoyable, and I'm glad to be getting back to it. And I don't really have anything to say about it. I love Caitlin Hunter's patterns. Just about everything that I knit of hers, I can see myself wearing very easily, and that's it. So I do have quite a bit of yarn left over, but I still have the sleeves to do, so we'll see how much yarn I have left after that. And this is my fringe supply bag. I am really bummed. She's pulling my hair. That I missed the tartan wax canvas bags last year. I really wanted one, but then I kind of hesitated and thinking that I didn't need 2 fringe supply bags, and I'm kicking myself for it because of course they don't have those anymore. And I've like commented on Instagram on Fringe if they were going to have the wax canvas tartan bags again, and they said they don't think so, which really bums me out. They've come out with the new wine plumish color wax canvas bags, and I've thought about getting that one, but I feel like as soon as I do, they'll decide to come out with the tartan ones again. It just bums me out so bad. My last name, my husband's last name, so my married name is Wallace, and I just love tartan things, and I wish that I could have a wax canvas tartan bag, and I'm so sad that they don't have them anymore. So some new projects that I've cast on, because I guess we're there now. I've been rewatching Outlander. So I originally said many episodes ago, a lot of people watch Outlander, and I just didn't understand. I'm actually taking this off because I'm burning up. I didn't understand how so many people could be into the show because it was triggering for me. Not to get all deep and dramatic, but there was abuse in my childhood. And so to watch a lot of the scenes in the end of season 1 or volume 1 and the beginning of volume 2, it was rough. It was really rough. And I didn't want to watch it ever again. I was like, this show is awful. I'm all about battle scenes and watching gore, and I'm not squeamish on that, but if you've seen the show, you know he's like tortured and it's just not great. And so the show was dead to me. I wasn't going to watch it ever again. And one of my really good friends, she was like, it's only like those 3 or 4 episodes where he experiences it and then he goes to flashback and explains to Claire. So it's not the whole season. You should really give it another chance. And I was like, okay. And I kind of like skipped through those parts in my second viewing because I can't just pick up when a new season comes out, I have to like go rewatch. So it's fresh. It drives my husband crazy because Vikings is gearing up to come out at the end of November, just in time for my birthday. Vikings is my top favorite show. I promise this is relevant to my knitting. Just give me a sec. So I had to go back and rewatch all of Outlander. And I was totally inspired because Claire wears a lot of knitwear. And she wears some of this stuff that has like a collar on it and it has seed stitch. And I love seed stitch. It's one of my favorite knitting stitches. I just love the way it looks. I love knitting it. It's just my favorite. My hair's a mess. It's like, this is how it looks washed, but not straightened or anything else. This is my natural hair, so whatever. But she has these beautiful like seed stitch capes and stuff that she wears. Ruby loves Roger. Come here, Roger. Ruby, come here. Come here. But Roger does not like children. He loves my 12-year-old. But like other small children, he's really skittish and kind of old and kind of scared they're going to hurt him. But Ruby, she loves all of our dogs. But Roger has a special place in her heart. And she thinks that he was put on this earth to entertain her. And he's just not. So back to my inspiration on Outlander. Claire's wearing all these beautiful knit items. And I really wanted to knit something seed stitch. But I was like, I don't really want to knit. I want to knit something useful that I'm going to wear. So the Timber, and I don't have the pattern, it's on the table. The Timber cardigan by Shannon Cook, I believe, has the high collar, but it's ribbing. I think it's like 4 or 5 inches of ribbing on the neck, and then it goes into this open cardigan with ribbing on the arm detail along the collar, and then on the back there's ribbing. And I thought I could adapt that pattern and knit seed stitch instead of the ribbing. I could do seed stitch. So that's what I'm doing. This yarn is some deep stash that I've had for a million years. And I originally bought a sweater's quantity. And this is even before I started using like wool and hand-dyed yarn. This is a Red Heart. Their Unforgettable line with the long self-striping. So it's like, that's how it looks when it's knit up. I think it's Unforgettable. And don't ask me the colorway name. I have all of the balls that I have caked up like this. I don't have fiber content. I know that it's acrylic with some wool and some sparklies. And guys, you could probably look this up online, but I have no idea. But I wanted to use that because I'm trying to use a lot of my stash. I want to knit through my stash. I've been really good about not buying yarn this year. And so I did the seed stitch collar, and I'm to the point now where I'm increasing for the raglan increasing. And so I kind of ran out of stitch markers. I was knitting while dealing with this one, and I ran out of stitch markers, so I just set it to the side because I was doing the raglan increasing. But I think this is going to be really awesome. I'm going to continue wherever the timber cardigan has the ribbing. I'm going to continue doing the seed stitch, and I think it's going to be epic. I'm really excited about that project, and we'll see how it goes. So I've it's kind of my MO to get excited about a project and to get to a certain point and just set it to the side and start something else. I have so many whips to get through, but I knit on what my brain can handle at the moment and what brings me joy, especially with this one. I think she's tired. I knit what I can knit. And another project that I decided to start was the Little Cabin by Caitlin Hunter. So I do have this pattern printed. Let me see if I can get the main page pulled out. There's something about her patterns that just, I didn't even have any interest in knitting this, but I think I saw Christy Glass's, or even maybe Molly of A Homespun House, her version, and I was like, I need to knit that. So it's the Little Cabin pattern by Caitlin Hunter, and it's got all of these baubles all over it. And I was just like, how stinking fun is that? And it's got, the reason why it's Little Cabins is because this little detail at the very bottom hem looks like these little cabins with snow falling. And we always go and stay in New Mexico for Christmas. We didn't go last year because of her birthday, but or her being born day. Hopefully we'll go this year. And I just thought, what a perfect little cozy sweater to wear in the mountains with the snow falling in our little cabin. So I wanted to knit this. And there's just something, everything about her patterns I love. Like, I love this little doodle watercolor that she creates on every single pattern. And I love her aesthetic. And I mean, I don't have to tell y'all. Everyone in the knitting community loves Caitlin Hunter as much as I do. So I started this, and I wanted to knit in a cream colored sweater. I don't know what's wrong with me. My tastes have completely changed in the past 3 years. I used to love like bright, bold colors, and now I'm very much into neutrals, and I like everything that I'm buying is more neutral. I buy a lot of black now, and I used to never buy black clothes. I thought it made me look too goth because my skin is very olive, but in the winter it takes a very the window is a bad representation because I'm super washed out right now. But in the winter I am very fair and my hair is very dark, and so I just thought that wearing black clothes made it made me look more pale than I wanted to look. But now I am totally into neutrals. I love black, gray, cream colors. Yeah, so I wanted to knit this in Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in the colorway Fossil. And it's totally blown out. It's a cream color. It's cream. It's oatmeal colored. That's a little bit better. But I had a heck of a time getting this to this point. So at first I was knitting the little lace, and it's only like, I mean, 20 rows of lace, not even 20 rows of lace, because half of that is just pearls and knits. And so from like here to here, I ripped it out and restarted it 3 times. So I knit it, messed up on the lace, like missed a yarn over or 2 and ripped it back. And then knit it and missed a yarn over or 2 and ripped it back. And the 3rd time I finally got it, but then once I got to the baubles, I was like having such a good time with the baubles, I messed up on those, and then I had to rip it back to here. I didn't rip it all the way back, I just ripped it back to where I messed up on the baubles and then started re-knitting it. Something that I have to say about Brooklyn Tweed, it works well to rip it out, and as long as you're careful, because I know a lot of people have complained that it just like pulls apart. I've knit several things with Shelter, and I've never had it break apart on me. Maybe it's the way I tension my yarn, but I've even frogged several things because I've messed up, and I've never had it rip apart on me. So I love Shelter. I will always love Shelter. It's just a good, awesome rustic yarn. And now I'm back to working on my baubles. I am loving this knit. It is so easy despite my errors, okay? Take nothing to me being incapable of knitting. I'm just full of errors. But I really love these baubles, and I cannot wait for this FO. I feel like, no. No. She's trying to pull up on the computer, and a while ago when she did that, she disappeared us. So, you stay here with me. You stay here with me. Those are the only other works in progress that I have going on right now. I did buy some yarn. Well, technically, yeah, I guess I bought some yarn. This was even before I recorded the last episode. I bought these 3 skeins of Primrose Fiber Co. From my local yarn store because I wanted to knit the Spilla? I don't know what it's called. It's a Caitlin Hunter colorwork pattern, the one with the like, I think she knit hers in cream and black, but I'm going to do it reversed to what she did. So this is a Madeline Tosh that I had in the stash, and these are singles, and I'm not sure about knitting with singles, but I recently knit something with singles, I can't remember, and I didn't hate it as much as knitting with singles in the past. This is just a cream color, but it's got speckles of different colors in it, and it's called Salt. And then this one is Black Truffle. So I feel like this is going to be my birthday cast on, despite whether I'm done with anything else. I think that I'm going to cast on the Caitlin Hunter pattern for my birthday, because why not? And that's at the end of the month. So 2 of my girls and myself all have November birthdays. Prudence will be 8 on the 17th. Atrella will be 13 on the 29th. And I'll be 34 on the 30th. I cannot believe I have a 13-year-old. That is mind-boggling to me. She's going to be a teenager. I mean, I can't even imagine that. People think it's so weird that I have such large age gaps between my children, but it's the best. Like, both of the girls help out a ton with Ruby, and I don't know what I would do if it was just me and Ruby, because Ruby is the most wild child I poked you in the eye trying to pinch your cheek. But yeah, so she loves her sisters, and her sisters love her. And too bad she's so washed out. Hey, look, you'd be so cute. Say hi. Hi. But another acquisition that I got was this giant cake of yarn, and it's a cream color, again, because I'm obsessed lately with neutrals, guys. This is the Cascade Eco Wool. It smells so sheepy. Cascade Eco Wool. Eco plus Merino. I don't know. 100% Bolivian Merino wool. I don't know how to say that. It is amazing. So I wanted to knit Ruby a cardigan. Let me show you I really wanted to knit her a cabley cardigan for Christmas because she needs more sweaters. I searched and searched and searched, and I actually bought her the Gramps cardigan, and I might knit her that as well with some green yarn that I have in the stash, but I wanted to knit her a cream-colored cable cardigan. I don't know why I had this in my brain, but I had to knit her a cream-colored cable cardigan. Now, saying that, will I actually get it done by Christmas? Probably not. This will probably be a next year's cardigan. Just because I'm working on other things. But that didn't stop me from getting the pattern and the yarn at my local yarn store. And this is it. It is the Winter Green Cardigan by Gwen Wagner Adair. It is beautiful. It has these like little tree motif cables. Looks like little pine trees. I am obsessed. And look at that little cozy baby. That baby is so cozy, and my baby's going to be so cozy in her little Christmas cardigan. Yeah, so, well, I might catch this on, but it only needed one skein. I need 400 for the 1 to 2 year size, which I think is the size I decided I was going to knit her. So again, she can wear it this year and hopefully next year if I knit a little bit of length into it. I needed 430 yards. And I think that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think that this is 478 yards. So I have plenty of yarn to knit that. And it is super chunky. I've never knit with a chunky yarn like that, I don't think. And so I'm really excited to see how quickly that works out. Because it's knit with like Aran weight, and that's what this is. A little bit bigger than worsted. Boop. Yeah, look how giant it is. I mean, can you even? Look, she loves yarn. So she started crawling really late. That's all the knitting I have. If you don't want to hear any more about my baby, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. But now I'm going to talk about Ruby a little bit, just so y'all kind of get a feel for her personality. She really likes to be held a lot, and I don't mind at all. I mean, I'm kind of an attached parent, if you will. I don't like sticking labels on it either, but it is what it is. I spend a lot of time holding her, and I have no problems with it. But I have always given her lots of ample floor time and sat down on the floor with her and tried to like entice her to crawl. And she had absolutely no interest in crawling until about a couple of weeks ago. So she, again, she'll be 11 months old on the 20th. And she just started crawling when she was 10 months. And she's not even proper crawling. She's just doing like an army crawl where she'll move her elbows and, you know, scoot with one foot. It's hilarious how she crawls. Again, I have video of it on my personal Instagram, which is 3 Lassies. And she has just now started to set herself up. And both of the girls did those things. The older girls did those things like in month 7. And she's now in month 11. And she's just now really like doing things on her own. But now that she's setting herself up and she's army crawling, she'll army crawl over to objects and pull up. So she's already pulling herself up, but she doesn't have the best coordination or balance. And as soon as she's pulling up, she's kind of like toppling over. So I have to be really careful on what she pulls up on, because she'll just topple over and fall. And we have tile floors throughout the house, and she'll crack her head, and that's not fun. So we've been, you know, kind of enticing her to crawl, and I did it with yarn. So she loves, as I said, she'll take ball bands out of all of my cakes and chew on them. And so I was lining up some projects that I wanted to start, and I had little yarn cakes laid out, and she was kind of off to the side playing, and I was just out of reach, so she wouldn't grab my yarn. And she quickly army crawled over there and just like started devouring the yarn. So my husband jokes that I'm raising a little knitter, a little baby knitter, and I couldn't be happier about that. So the girls are doing really well in school. They are in 2nd and 7th grade, and they're happy in their new school. And that's it. I think I already talked about Halloween. That might have been the other one. I had to record this twice, not the whole thing, but little segment, because she pulled up on the computer and it went bye-bye. So I don't know. If I talked about Halloween, great. If not, sorry. You don't get to know what we did for Halloween. I'm pretty sure I talked about it though on this one. Yeah, so that's all I've been working on, and we are going to sign off now because I'm sure she's getting very tired, and this has already gone on for almost 40 minutes. I knew I had a lot to talk about because it's been so long. Hopefully I'll be able to sit down again with you before the new year, but honestly, with my schedule, I really don't see me seeing you guys again until after Christmas. The girls with their birthdays, and then Christmas is going to come, and it's going to be boop, the end of the year. So I hope y'all have very happy holidays. I am so excited that Thanksgiving is coming. I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, And with that, we're going to let you go because you see her little rubbing her eyes. Her toys have betrayed her. She's sad. We'll catch you guys next time. Can you say bye-bye?